I'm hunched over my laptop at 2:47 a.m, updating a spreadsheet that would make any accountant weep with joy. Row 847. Cleaned vomit from bathroom floor after Mum's medication reaction. Time logged, 23 minutes. Fair market rate for biohazard cleanup, $75 per hour. My name is Gwendolyn, and I've been documenting everything for 11 months, 3 weeks and 4 days. Gwen! Gwen! Mum's voice cuts through the house like a rusty blade. I need my pills. I save the spreadsheet, titled Services Rendered, and pad down the hallway in my slippers. The hardwood floors creak under my feet, a sound I've grown to hate. Everything in this house feels like it's falling apart, including me. Which pills, Mum? I ask, standing in her doorway. She's propped up in bed, looking perfectly capable of walking to the kitchen herself, but that's not how this works anymore. The white ones, for my stomach. The Tums are white, so are the calcium supplements and the... Don't be smart with me. Her voice sharpens. You know which ones I mean. I fetch 3 different bottles of white pills because I've learned it's easier than playing 20 questions. When I return, she's on her phone, scrolling through Facebook. Jayla posted the most beautiful pictures from her weekend in Napa, she says without looking up. Look at this wine tasting. Doesn't she look radiant? I set the pills on her nightstand. Which ones do you need? The Tums, obviously. She holds up her phone. Look at this dress she's wearing. Probably cost more than you make in a month. Used to make. I haven't worked in almost a year. She's living her best life, Mum continues. I'm so proud of her for not letting our situation hold her back. Our situation. As if Mum's recovery from gallbladder surgery was some natural disaster that happened to all of us equally. I'm going back to bed, I say. Wait. She grabs my wrist. Can you fluff my pillows? And maybe bring me some crackers? My stomach feels funny. I fluff the pillows. I bring crackers. I refill her water glass. I adjust the temperature. I close the curtains tighter. Each task gets logged in my mental spreadsheet, time-stamped and categorised. Back in my room, well, my childhood room that I moved back into, I update the file. Row 848. Midnight medication assistance and comfort services. Time, 18 minutes. My phone buzzes. A text from Jayla. Hey sis, hope you're hanging in there. I know it's been tough, but you're doing such important work. Mum and Dad are so lucky to have you. I wish I could be there more, but you know how crazy things are with Ashton's promotion and the wedding planning. Sending love. I stare at the message for a full minute. She wishes she could be there more. She lives 4 hours away and hasn't visited once since Mum's surgery. Not once, but she sends love and emojis. I don't respond. Instead, I screenshot the message and save it to a folder labelled Evidence. The next morning, I'm scrambling eggs when Dad walks into the kitchen, already dressed for work in his pressed khakis and polo shirt. Coffee's not ready, he says, like it's my fault the machine takes 5 minutes to brew. It'll be done in 2 minutes. He grunts and sits at the table, opening his newspaper. Your mother says you were short with her last night. I brought her everything she asked for. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. He doesn't look up from the sports section. Jayla called yesterday. She's worried about your attitude. My hand tightens on the spatula. Jayla called? She's concerned you're getting burned out. She thinks maybe you need to remember why you're here. Why I'm here? As if I chose this. As if I wasn't guilted into putting my entire life on hold because family comes first and Jayla has her own responsibilities. The eggs are ready, I say. Dad takes his plate without a thank you. Jayla's sending money for groceries this week, see? She contributes however she can. I know for a fact Jayla hasn't sent money. I handle all the household finances now, but I don't say anything. I just add it to my mental list. False claims about financial contributions. Later, while Mum naps and Dad's at work, my friend Bianca calls. How are you holding up? She asks. I'm fine. Gwen, come on, you sound exhausted. I am exhausted. I'm exhausted from being the only one who shows up. I'm exhausted from being treated like hired help instead of a daughter. I'm exhausted from watching my parents worship Jayla from afar while treating me like I'm invisible. They're going to expect you to do this forever, you know, Bianca says gently. Your mum's been cleared for normal activities for weeks now. I know. So when are you going home? When are you going back to your job? I don't answer because I don't know. Every time I bring up leaving, Mum suddenly has a setback. Dad reminds me that family takes care of family. Jayla sends a text about how grateful she is that I'm there, so she doesn't have to worry. You need to set boundaries, Bianca says. I will. When? Soon. After we hang up, I open my laptop and look at my spreadsheet. 847 rows of data. 11 months of documentation. Every task, every insult, every moment of being taken for granted, all carefully recorded with timestamps and fair market rates. I'm not just documenting my life anymore, I'm building a case, and something tells me I'm going to need it. 3 weeks later, I'm on my hands and knees at 3 a.m, scrubbing urine out of the bathroom grout with a toothbrush. Mum's accident happened because she didn't want to use her bedside commode, said it made her feel like an invalid. I'm so embarrassed, she whispers from the doorway, clutching her robe. It's fine, Mum. Accidents happen. You're such a good daughter. I don't know what I'd do without you. I keep scrubbing. The ammonia smell burns my nostrils, but I've learned that wearing gloves makes me look dramatic, according to Dad. Jayla called earlier, Mum says. She's planning to visit next month. Next month. Always next month with Jayla. That's nice. She sounded so stressed about work. That new marketing campaign is really taking a toll on her. I sit back on my heels. She sounded stressed? Oh yes, she was practically in tears talking about how guilty she feels for not being here more. She said she lies awake at night thinking about us. Funny. When I lie awake at night, it's usually because I'm cleaning up bodily fluids or listening for Mum's call bell. The next evening, Dad sets up his laptop for Jayla's weekly video call. It's become a family event. Mum gets her hair done, Dad puts on a clean shirt, and I'm expected to hover in the background like hired help. Jayla's face fills the screen, perfectly lit in what looks like a wine bar. Her hair is professionally styled, her makeup flawless. Hi everyone, she waves with manicured nails. Sorry I'm calling from dinner, but Ashton surprised me with reservations at this amazing place. You look beautiful, sweetheart, Mom gushes. Doesn't she look beautiful, Rhett? Gorgeous, Dad agrees. How's the wedding planning going? Oh my God, so stressful. Jayla's voice cracks slightly. I had a complete breakdown yesterday trying to choose between ivory and champagne for the table linens. I know it sounds silly, but everything has to be perfect, you know? Mum's face melts with sympathy. Oh, honey, you're putting so much pressure on yourself. I just want everything to be beautiful for our families. Jayla dabs at her eyes with a cloth napkin. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning in decisions, and knowing you're going through recovery, Mum, while I'm over here obsessing about flowers, it makes me feel so selfish. Don't you dare feel selfish, Dad says firmly. You're building your future. That's exactly what you should be doing. I'm standing behind the couch watching this performance. Jayla's tears haven't smudged her mascara. Her voice trembles at all the right moments. I just wish I could do more, she continues. I know Gwen's been amazing, but I feel terrible that she's sacrificing so much while I'm living my life. Gwen understands, Mum says, not even glancing back at me. She knows how important your career is, and your wedding. We're so proud of you for not letting our situation derail your plans. I sent money for groceries last week, Jayla says. I know it's not much, but... Every little bit helps, Dad interrupts. You contribute in your own way. I clear my throat. Actually, I handle the grocery shopping and I haven't received... Gwen. Dad's voice cuts like ice. Let your sister finish. Jayla's eyes flick to me through the screen. For just a second her expression shifts. Calculating. Cold. Then the mask slides back into place. I was going to surprise you, she says quickly. I sent it to your Venmo, Gwen. Maybe it hasn't gone through yet? I check my phone. No Venmo notification, no pending transactions. Technology, Mum laughs. So unreliable. The call continues for another 20 minutes. Jayla talks about her yoga classes, her new skincare routine, Ashton's promotion. Mum and Dad hang on every word like she's delivering the State of the Union. When she finally hangs up, Mum sighs dreamily. She's glowing, she says. Absolutely glowing. Love looks so good on her. She's got a good head on her shoulders, Dad adds. Knows how to prioritise. I start clearing their coffee cups. You could learn something from your sister, Dad continues. She's building something meaningful with her life, making something of herself. What am I doing? The words slip out before I can stop them. Dad looks at me like I've asked why water is wet. You're helping family. It's temporary. Temporary. It's been almost a year. That night I update my spreadsheet. Row 891. Emergency bathroom sanitation 3 a.m. Time 47 minutes. Rate 85 hour for hazmat cleaning. Then I create a new entry. False claims about financial contributions during family video call. I screenshot Jayla's Venmo lie and save it to my evidence folder. My phone buzzes. A text from Jayla. Hope the Venmo went through. Let me know if you need the confirmation number. Love you. I screenshot that too. She's good. I'll give her that. She's very, very good, but I'm better at keeping records. I'm folding laundry in the hallway when I hear them talking in the kitchen. Their voices carry through the thin walls of this old house. She's been here almost a year, Dad says. When do you think she'll get the hint? What hint? Mum asks. That it's time to move on, get back to her own life. I freeze, a towel half folded in my hands. I don't know, Mum sighs. She seems comfortable here, maybe too comfortable. That's what I'm worried about. She's 30 next year. She should be building her own family, not hovering around ours. She's been helpful, though. Sure, but Jayla's right. We can't enable her forever. Once she leaves, maybe things can go back to normal around here. Normal, like I'm the disruption in their perfect life. I just worry she'll take it hard, Mum says. You know how sensitive she gets. She'll be fine. She's tougher than she acts. Besides, we raised her to be independent. Independent, right. That's why they guilt-tripped me into moving back home when Mum got sick. I drop the towel and walk to my room, closing the door as quietly as possible. My hands shake as I open my laptop and add a new entry to my spreadsheet. Overheard parents discussing my departure as burden relief. My phone rings. Bianca. Hey, want to grab coffee? I'm in your neighbourhood. I can't leave. Mum might need something. Gwen, your mum walked to the mailbox yesterday. I saw her. She's fine. 20 minutes later, I'm sitting across from Bianca at the coffee shop down the street. She slides a latte toward me. You look terrible, she says. Thanks, really what I needed to hear. I'm serious. When's the last time you did something for yourself? I can't remember. I'm fine. No, you're not. You're disappearing. She leans forward. Remember when you used to laugh, when you had opinions about things that weren't related to your parents' medical needs? This is temporary. Is it? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're being used. They're my parents. So, that doesn't give them the right to treat you like unpaid help while they worship Jayla from afar. I stir my latte, watching the foam swirl. You don't understand. Then explain it to me. Explain why Jayla gets to live her life while you put yours on hold. Explain why they praise her for sending fake grocery money while you're literally wiping their floors. She has responsibilities. Bullshit. Bianca's voice cuts through my excuse. You know what she has? Boundaries. She says no, you don't. I can't just abandon them. Who's abandoning who here, Gwen? Because it sounds like they're already planning your exit. I tell her what I overheard. Bianca's face hardens. They want you gone, but they want it to be your idea so they don't look like the bad guys. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should... Don't. She grabs my hand. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking you're the problem. You gave up a year of your life for them. A year. And they're talking about you like you're a house guest who's overstayed her welcome. When I get home, Mum's on the couch watching TV. Where were you? She asks, without looking away from the screen. Coffee with Bianca. You could have told me. I was looking for you. What did you need? Nothing urgent, just, it would be nice to know where you are. I sit on the opposite end of the couch. Mum, when do you think you'll be ready for me to go back to my apartment? She mutes the TV and turns to me. Are you unhappy here? It's not about being unhappy, it's about getting back to normal. Normal? She repeats the word like it tastes bitter. I suppose you're eager to get back to your old life. I miss my independence. Independence? Another bitter taste. Is that what Bianca's been filling your head with? This isn't about Bianca, isn't it? You come back from coffee with her and suddenly you're talking about leaving. Mum's voice takes on that wounded tone she's perfected. I thought we were closer than that. We are close, but I can't stay here forever. Forever? It's been less than a year. Jayla lived here until she was 25. Jayla was in college, then she was saving money for her own place. And what are you doing? Saving money? The question hits like a slap. I haven't been saving money. I've been spending my savings to help with household expenses while providing free labour. I need to think about my future, I say. Your future. Mum turns the TV back on, volume louder than before. Well, don't let us hold you back. That evening, I'm cleaning out old boxes in my room when I find a family photo from 5 years ago. We're all at Jayla's college graduation. She's centre stage in her cap and gown, beaming. Mum and Dad flank her, arms around her shoulders. I'm there too, but barely. Half my body is cropped out of the frame, like whoever took the photo forgot I existed. I stare at the image for a long time. Even in our family photos, I'm an afterthought. I take a picture of the photo with my phone and add it to my evidence folder. Then I update my spreadsheet with the day's events. Emotional manipulation regarding departure timeline and guilt tactics deployed when independence mentioned. My phone buzzes. A text from Jayla. Mum says you're thinking about moving out. Don't feel pressured. You're doing such important work there. I screenshot it and save it with the rest. She's good at this game. They all are. But I'm learning the rules. Mum's final doctor's appointment is on a Tuesday. I wake up at 6 a.m. to prep everything. Insurance cards, medication list, her comfortable shoes, a snack in case she gets dizzy, bottled water, tissues, and the cushion for the car seat because the regular seats hurt her back. Did you remember my sweater? She asks as I help her into the passenger seat. It's in the back. What about my phone charger? In your purse. My reading glasses? I point to the case clipped to her shirt. She's been cleared for normal activities for weeks, but these appointments still require the full production. At the doctor's office, I fill out the paperwork while she sits in the waiting room, scrolling through Facebook. The receptionist hands me a clipboard. Are you the daughter? She asks. Yes. You've been here for every appointment. That's so sweet. I smile and say nothing. What else would I say? That I'm here because no one else will be. Dr. Martinez calls us back. Mum grips my arm like she's walking into surgery instead of a routine follow-up. Everything looks perfect, Margaret, he says, reviewing her chart. Full recovery, no restrictions. You can resume all normal activities. All activities? Mum asks. Everything. Driving, lifting, exercise, travel. You're completely healed. Mum nods, but her grip on my arm tightens. Any questions? Dr. Martinez asks. What about heavy lifting? I ask. She can lift whatever she could lift before surgery. No limitations. Household chores? All fine. Cooking? Margaret, you can do everything you did before. You're healthy. In the car, Mum stares out the window. Good news, I say. Yes, good news. But she doesn't sound happy. She sounds worried. That evening, Dad comes home with a bottle of champagne. Celebration time, he announces. Our girl is officially back to normal. He pops the cork and pours 3 glasses. We toast Mum's clean bill of health. I'm so relieved, Mum says. I was worried there might be complications. The doctor said you're perfect, I remind her. Doctors don't know everything. Dad raises his glass again. To Margaret and to Gwen for taking such good care of her mother. We drink. It should feel like a victory, but something's off. The celebration feels forced, like we're all pretending this is what we wanted. After dinner, I clean the kitchen while my parents watch TV. I load the dishwasher, wipe the counters, sweep the floor. The same routine I've done every night for 11 months. "Gwen," Mum calls from the living room, "can you bring me my pills?" "Which ones?" "The usual ones." I bring her pill organiser. She takes her vitamins, the same vitamins she could take herself. From the kitchen she could walk to herself, using the legs that work perfectly fine. "Thank you, sweetheart." I go back to cleaning. Dad joins me in the kitchen. "You've done a good job," he says, drying a wine glass. "Thanks." "Your mother's lucky to have you." "She's healthy now. She doesn't really need me anymore." Dad sets down the glass. "Well, she's used to having you around. Change is hard." "Change is part of recovery. Is it?" He looks at me directly. "Or is recovery about getting back to what works?" I don't answer. I just keep scrubbing the champagne glasses. Later, I take the trash out to the curb. Vienna, our neighbour, is watering her garden. "Hey Gwen," she calls over. "How's your mum doing?" "Great. Got the all clear from her doctor today." "That's wonderful. You must be so relieved." "Yeah." Vienna walks closer to the fence. "You know, I've been watching you this whole year. Every morning, every evening, running errands, taking care of everything. You're a saint." "Just doing what needs to be done. My daughter lives in Portland. When I had my hip replacement, she visited for a week, then went back to her life. Said I needed to learn to be independent again." Vienna laughs. "I was mad at the time, but she was right. Made me stronger." "Everyone's different." "True, but I hope your parents know how lucky they are. Not everyone would give up a year of their life like that." Back inside, I find Mum and Dad whispering in the kitchen. They stop when they see me. "Everything okay?" I ask. "Fine," Dad says quickly. "Just talking about tomorrow's schedule." "What's tomorrow?" "Nothing special, just normal stuff." Normal stuff, right. In my room, I open my laptop and stare at my spreadsheet. 1,247 rows of data. Nearly a year of my life, documented down to the minute. My phone pings with a notification. I've set up automatic calculations to run weekly, and the numbers have updated. Total hours logged, 3,247. Total value at fair market rates, $78,400. I stare at the number. $78,400. That's what this year cost me. Not just in lost wages, but in actual value provided. I screenshot the total and save it to a new folder labelled Final Calculation. Then I close the laptop and try to sleep, knowing tomorrow everything changes. I just don't know how yet. The next morning, Dad's waiting for me in the kitchen with his laptop open and a manila folder beside his coffee cup. "Sit down, Gwen. We need to talk." Mum shuffles in wearing her robe, even though it's almost noon. She sits across from me, avoiding eye contact. "What's this about?" I ask. Dad opens the folder and slides a printed document across the table. "We've been thinking about your situation here." I look down at the paper. It's an itemised list, typed in Dad's precise font. "Room and board for 11 months, I read aloud. "Utilities, groceries, household supplies." I scan down the list. "What is this?" "It's what you owe us," Dad says matter-of-factly, "for your stay here." The numbers blur as I read them. Rent, $800 per month. Utilities, $150 per month. Food, $400 per month. Miscellaneous household expenses, $200 per month. 11 months at $1,550 per month, Dad continues, plus initial setup costs for converting the guest room back to your old room. Total, $12,935. I stare at the paper. "You're billing me." "We're asking you to contribute fairly to the household expenses you've incurred." "Incurred?" I repeat the words slowly. "I incurred these expenses." "You've been living here rent-free for almost a year," Mum says quietly. "We've been covering all your costs." "While I took care of you." "That was your choice," Dad says. "No one forced you to move back home." My hands start shaking. I set the paper down carefully. My choice. We appreciate everything you've done, Mom adds quickly, but now that I'm better, it's time to settle accounts and move forward. Dad's laptop chimes. An incoming video call. Jayla's name appears on the screen. Perfect timing, Dad says, accepting the call. Jayla's face fills the screen. She's in what looks like a coffee shop, perfectly made up as always. Hi everyone, Dad said you wanted to talk about Gwen's transition back to independence. We just showed her the accounting, Dad says, turning the laptop so Jayla can see me. Oh, good. Jayla's smile is bright and supportive. I think this is so healthy. Gwen, you've been amazing this whole year, but it's time for you to get back to your own life, right? I look at her through the screen. You think I should pay them $12,935? Well, you have been living there rent-free, and Mom and Dad have been supporting you financially while you took time off work. Time off work to take care of Mom? Right, but that was still your choice. No one asked you to quit your job. I didn't quit. I took a leave of absence to be Mom's caregiver. Same thing, Jayla says with a little laugh. The point is, you chose to prioritise family over income. That's beautiful, but it doesn't mean Mum and Dad should subsidise that choice indefinitely. Dad nods approvingly. Exactly. We've all made sacrifices this year. What sacrifices did you make? I ask Jayla. Her smile flickers. Emotional sacrifices. Do you know how hard it's been for me, knowing I couldn't be there? The guilt I've carried? The guilt. Yes, I've been in therapy dealing with it. That's a sacrifice too. I look around the table, at Dad with his itemised bill, at Mom with her guilty expression, at Jayla on the screen with her perfect makeup and her therapy bills. I anticipated this, I say calmly. Dad raises an eyebrow. Anticipated what? I stand up and walk to my room. They follow me with their voices. Gwen, don't be dramatic, Mum calls. We can work out a payment plan, Dad adds. I return with my laptop and set it on the kitchen table. You anticipated what? Jayla asks through the screen. I open my laptop and navigate to my spreadsheet. This conversation. The screen fills with rows and rows of data, dates, times, tasks, hourly rates. What is that? Mum asks. My records. Dad leans forward, squinting at the screen. Records of what? Everything. I scroll down slowly, letting them see the scope. Every task I performed, every service I provided, every hour I worked. Worked? Jayla's voice comes through the speakers. Gwen, you weren't working. You were helping family. Was I? I click to the summary tab. Because according to fair market rates for home healthcare, personal assistance, housekeeping, meal preparation, transportation services and medical support, I provided $78,400 worth of services this year. The kitchen goes silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. That's ridiculous, Dad says finally. Is it? You want to charge me market rate for room and board? I'm charging market rate for services rendered. You can't be serious, Mum whispers. I look at each of them in turn. You want $12,935 from me. I want $78,400 from you. Gwen, this is insane, Jayla says from the screen. You can't bill your own family. Why not? You just did. Dad closes my laptop. This is emotional manipulation. No, I say, opening it again. This is accounting. I click print. The printer in Dad's office starts humming. I'm giving you two options, I say, as I walk to collect the pages. Option 1, you tear up your bill, I tear up mine, and I leave today, forever. I return with a thick stack of printed pages and set them next to Dad's single sheet. Option 2, you pay my bill in full and I'll consider paying yours. Mum starts crying. Gwen, please, this isn't who you are. I look at her tear-streaked face. You're right. The person I was would have paid your bill and apologised for being a burden. I close my laptop and pick up my invoice. But that person is gone. Dad picks up my printed invoice with shaking hands. The pages flutter as he flips through them. Wound care assistance, $45 per hour, he reads aloud. Medication management, $35 per hour. Transportation to medical appointments, $25 per hour plus mileage. Those are standard healthcare rates, I say. I researched them thoroughly. Bathroom sanitation, Mum reads over his shoulder, her voice getting higher. Biohazard cleanup, $85 per hour. That's what professional cleaning services charge for bodily fluid cleanup. I have receipts for the supplies I bought. Jayla's voice crackles through the laptop speakers. Gwen, this is absolutely insane. You can't seriously expect. I can, and I do. I turn the laptop toward me. You want to talk about market rates? Let's talk about market rates. I scroll to a specific section of my spreadsheet. Live-in healthcare aid, $200 per day. I was here 365 days. That's $73,000 right there before we even get to the specialised services. Specialised services? Dad's voice is barely a whisper. Emergency response. I got up 17 times in the middle of the night for various crises. Emergency healthcare response is billed at premium rates. I click to another tab. Then there's the emotional labour. Therapy dogs charge $50 per hour for comfort services. I provided significantly more emotional support than a therapy dog. You're our daughter, Mum shouts. Daughters don't charge their parents for love. Love? I look at her directly. Is that what you call sending me a bill for living here while I took care of you? That's different. How? Because you chose to be here. Did I? Or was I guilted into it? I pull out my phone and scroll through old text messages. Here's what you texted me when you got out of surgery. The doctors say I need full-time care. Jayla can't leave her job. You're the only one who can help us. Please don't abandon me when I need you most. I show them the screen. Does that sound like a choice? Dad sets down my invoice. Even if we wanted to pay this ridiculous amount, we don't have $78,000. Then we have a problem. Gwen, please! Jayla's voice pleads through the speakers. Be reasonable. We're family. Are we? Because family doesn't bill each other for basic human decency. You're being hypocritical, she snaps. You just billed us. I'm being consistent. You established that family services have a price. I'm simply presenting my invoice. Dad stands up and starts pacing. This is extortion. No, this is business. You want to treat me like a service provider who owes you money? Fine, but it goes both ways. I open a new document on my laptop and start typing. What are you doing now? Mum asks. Writing a demand letter. I'm giving you 30 days to respond to my invoice. If you don't pay or negotiate in good faith, I'll pursue other options. Other options? Dad stops pacing. Small claims court has a limit, but I can file multiple claims. Or I could hire a lawyer. Breach of implied contract, unjust enrichment, elder abuse. Elder abuse, Mum gasps. Forcing someone to provide unpaid labour under emotional duress. It's a thing. Jayla's face on the screen has gone pale. Gwen, you can't be serious about taking legal action against your own parents. Watch me. I finish typing and hit print again. I'm also prepared to make this public if necessary. Public how? Dad asks. I hold up my phone. Social media. I've documented everything. Every conversation, every text message, every instance of emotional manipulation. I have screenshots of Jayla's fake Venmo promises, recordings of you two discussing me like a burden, photos of the conditions I worked in. You recorded us. Mum's voice is horrified. I documented everything. It's called evidence. I stand up and gather my papers. I'm also prepared to share this story with everyone we know, church friends, neighbours, extended family. Let them decide who the real villain is here. You wouldn't, Jayla says. Try me. The kitchen falls silent except for the sound of the printer finishing my demand letter. Here's what's going to happen, I say, placing the letter on the table. You have 24 hours to decide. Pay my invoice or I start making phone calls. Phone calls to who? Dad asks. Everyone. Aunt Linda, Cousin Mark, the ladies from Mum's book club. I'll tell them exactly what happened here today. How you tried to charge your daughter for taking care of you. Mum starts crying harder. please don't do this to us. I'm not doing anything to you. I'm responding to what you did to me. I pick up Dad's original bill and tear it in half. There, I just saved you $12,135 loans. Now you only owe me $78,400. Gwen? Jayla's voice is desperate now. Think about what you're doing. Once you cross this line, there's no going back. I look at her through the screen. You're right. There's no going back. I close the laptop, cutting off her protests. 24 hours, I tell my parents. Then I start making this everyone's problem, not just ours. I walk toward the stairs, then turn back. Oh, and I'll be packing tonight. Regardless of your decision, I'm done living here. Where will you go? Mum asks through her tears. That's not your concern anymore. I climb the stairs, leaving them with my invoice and their choices. Behind me, I hear Dad's voice, quiet and defeated. How did it come to this? But I don't turn around to answer. I already know. I'm stuffing clothes into garbage bags when I hear them arguing downstairs. Their voices carry through the heating vents. We have to call her bluff, Dad says. She won't actually sue us. What if she does? Mum's voice is shaky. What if she really posts all that stuff online? Then we'll deal with it. Deal with it how, Rhett? Everyone will think we're monsters. I zip up my laptop bag and keep packing. 23 hours and counting. My phone rings. Jayla. Don't hang up, she says immediately. We need to talk. I'm busy. Gwen, please, this has gone too far. Has it? Or has it not gone far enough? You're destroying our family. I stop packing. I'm destroying it? Yes, this vindictive, petty revenge fantasy. Revenge fantasy, I laugh, and it sounds harsh even to me. Jayla, you haven't been here. You don't get to judge what this is. I know you're hurt, but... Hurt? I'm not hurt, I'm done. Listen to me. Mum and Dad are panicking. They're talking about taking out a loan against the house. Good. Maybe they'll understand what financial pressure feels like. They're old, Gwen. They don't have the income to pay this. They had the income to charge me rent. That was different. How? Silence on the line. Exactly, I say. You can't explain how it's different because it isn't. Fine. You want to play hardball? Let's play hardball. Her voice turns cold. I'll match whatever they pay you, dollar for dollar. With what money? I have savings. Ashton has savings. We'll figure it out. Why would you do that? Because unlike you, I actually care about this family. I sit down on my bed, surrounded by packed bags. You care so much you haven't visited once in 11 months. I care enough to prevent you from destroying everyone's lives over your hurt feelings. My hurt feelings? Yes, your hurt feelings, because that's what this is really about, isn't it? You're mad that Mum and Dad love me more. The words hit like a physical blow. Excuse me? You heard me. You've always been jealous, always felt like the second choice, and now you're using this situation to punish everyone for not appreciating you enough. You think this is about jealousy. I think this is about a bitter, lonely woman who can't stand that her sister has a better life. I hang up. 2 hours later, I'm loading my car when Dad comes outside. Where are you going? He asks. Hotel tonight, then I'll figure it out. Gwen, we need to talk about this reasonably. Reasonably? Like when you presented me with a bill for taking care of Mum? That was... He runs his hand through his hair. That was poorly handled. It was calculated, just like my response. We can't pay $78,000. You know we can't. Then we have a problem. What do you want? Really, what would make this go away? I close my trunk and turn to face him. An apology, a real one, not, we're sorry you're upset, or we handled it poorly. A real acknowledgement of what you did. Fine, I'm sorry. For what? For the bill, for asking you to pay rent. And what? For treating me like hired help for 11 months, for praising Jayla while dismissing me, for making me feel invisible in my own family. He's quiet for a long moment. I don't know how to apologise for that. Then we're done here. I get in my car. He knocks on the window. Gwen, please, your mother is having chest pains. The stress. Call 911 or call Jayla. I'm not your emergency contact anymore. I start the engine. In my rearview mirror, I see him standing in the driveway, looking lost. At the hotel, I check my phone. 17 missed calls from various family members. Aunt Linda, Cousin Mark, even my grandmother. Jayla's been busy. I turn off my phone and order room service. The next morning, I'm eating breakfast when someone knocks on my hotel room door. I look through the peephole. Bianca. "How did you find me?" I ask, letting her in. "Your dad called me. He's desperate." "Good." She sits on the bed and looks at me. "So you really did it?" "I really did it." "How do you feel?" I consider the question. Empty, satisfied, terrified, all at once. Any regrets? Not yet. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. "This is Vienna, your neighbour. Wanted you to know there are cars in your parents' driveway. Looks like family meeting. Thought you should know. Also, I heard what happened. Good for you. Some people need to learn the hard way that actions have consequences." I show Bianca the text. "Karma," she says simply. Is it? Or is it just me being vindictive? Does it matter? Sometimes vindictive is what people need to understand they've crossed a line. Another text, this one from Mum. "Please come home. We need to talk as a family." I delete it without responding. "What's next?" Bianca asks. I don't know. For the first time in a year, I honestly don't know what comes next. That's not necessarily a bad thing. No, I agree, it's not. Outside the hotel window, life continues. People going to work, living their lives, making their own choices. For the first time in 11 months, I'm one of them. 3 weeks pass before I turn my phone back on. The voicemail box is full. I'm sitting in my new studio apartment, small but mine, when I finally listen to them. Most are from family members I haven't spoken to in years, all saying variations of the same thing. "We heard what happened. Call us." The last message is from Dad, his voice barely a whisper. "Gwen, we put the house on the market. We can't afford to stay. Your mother wanted you to know." I delete it and make coffee. Bianca comes over that afternoon with takeout and wine. "Any word from the family?" she asks, unpacking containers of Thai food. "They're selling the house." "Jesus, really?" "Apparently the extended family intervention didn't go well for them." "What do you mean?" I pull out my laptop and show her the Facebook screenshots I've been collecting. Aunt Linda's post. "Sometimes you don't know people as well as you think you do." Cousin Mark's comment on a family photo. "Actions have consequences." "Wow," Bianca says, "they really turned on them." Turns out charging your caregiver daughter for rent doesn't play well with the church crowd. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. "It's Ashton," I tell Bianca, reading the message. "Jayla's fiancé." "What's he want?" "To meet. Says he has something to give me." We meet at a coffee shop downtown. Ashton looks uncomfortable, fidgeting with his wedding ring. "Jayla doesn't know I'm here," he says immediately. "Okay." He slides an envelope across the table. "This is for you." Inside is a cashier's check for $78,400. I stare at the numbers. Where did this come from? My savings. Our wedding fund, actually. Why? He's quiet for a moment. "Because you were right, and because I've been watching Jayla manipulate this situation from the beginning." "You have?" "She's been playing both sides, telling your parents she supports them, telling you she understands your position. She wanted the drama to continue because it kept her looking like the good daughter by comparison." I fold the check and put it back in the envelope. "I can't take this." "Why not?" "Because it's not about the money anymore." "Then what's it about?" I think about the question, acknowledgement, respect, the understanding that what I did mattered. Your parents will never give you that. "I know. So what will you do?" I stand up and hand him back the envelope. "I'm going to live my life." "That's it?" "That's everything." That evening, I call my old boss. She answers on the second ring. "Gwen, how's your mother?" "Fully recovered. I'm ready to come back to work." Thank God. We've been drowning without you. Can you start Monday? I can start tomorrow. The next morning, I'm back at my desk, answering emails and scheduling meetings. It feels like putting on clothes that fit after wearing someone else's for a year. My co-worker Sarah stops by with coffee. How was your time off? Educational. Learn anything interesting? That some bridges are worth burning? She laughs, thinking I'm joking. Around lunch, my phone rings. Mom. Gwen, please don't hang up. I'm at work. I know, I wanted to tell you we found a buyer for the house. Congratulations. We're moving to a senior community, smaller place, more affordable. That sounds practical. Gwen, Her voice breaks. I'm sorry, for all of it. You were right to be angry. I'm quiet for a moment. Thank you for saying that. Does it change anything? No, but it's something. Will we ever see you again? I look out my office window at the city below. People walking, working, living their lives without asking permission or apologising for taking up space. I don't know, Mum. Maybe someday, but not now. I understand. Do you? I'm trying to. After we hang up, I open my laptop and delete the spreadsheet. All 1,247 rows of data gone with a single keystroke. Sarah walks by again. Everything okay? Better than okay. That weekend, Bianca and I go apartment hunting. Not because I need to move, but because I want to. Something bigger, with a view, in a neighbourhood I actually like. You seem different, she says, as we tour a one-bedroom with hardwood floors. Different how? Lighter, like you're not carrying something heavy anymore. She's right. The weight I didn't even realise I was carrying is gone. My phone buzzes. A text from Jayla. Heard Mum apologised. Does this mean we can talk? I screenshot it, then delete it without responding. Some conversations aren't worth having. At the realtor's office, I sign a lease for the apartment with the view. When she asks for my emergency contact, I write down Bianca's name without hesitation. No family? The realtor asks. This is my family, I say, nodding toward Bianca. Walking out of the building, Bianca links her arm through mine. Any regrets? She asks. I think about the question as we walk down the busy street, about the year I gave up, the family I lost, the bridges I burned, and the life I'm building from scratch. None, I say, and mean it. Good, because I'm proud of you. For what? For finally putting yourself first. That night I sit in my current apartment, small but mine, and open my laptop. Instead of a spreadsheet, I start a new document. Not an invoice or a demand letter, but something else entirely. A job application for a position across the country. Better pay, better opportunities, a fresh start in a place where no one knows my story. I fill it out carefully, honestly, without asking anyone's permission. At the bottom, where it asks why I'm interested in relocating, I type, "Ready for a new chapter." Then I hit send. I may be alone, but I'm finally free. And that, after all the invoices, all the arguments, all the burned bridges, was something they could never afford to give me. But I could afford to take it.